guys. This is Case. Case, how you doing? I'm good, guys. How are y'all?
Great. Case, what do you feel like your role will be here? What do you think you can bring to the table, and why is this such a great fit for you?
I think coming in, obviously my role, one is to be ready to play. I know the situation and with Baker and how he's played and the investment the team has in him. So I'm excited to kind of come alongside and really be a part of the quarterback room and the offensive side of the ball to try to help out in any way I can in the meeting rooms and the film room and just supporting Baker, supporting Coach Van Pelt and those guys, Stefanski, as we install an offense that I feel like I have some familiarity with. I know it's going to be Browns 2020 and our own version of a lot of different things that these coaches are going to bring to the table. But I'm excited to help with that part, and just kind of helping with whatever ideas or things that I can bring forth. I would say first of all, though, I'm going to be ready to play. That's my job. I feel like I can play at a high level. I feel like I have played at a high level over the last few years. It may not have shown in some of the wins and losses, but this league is tough, and it's there's a constant curve. Kind of a gradual ebbs and flows of it. But I feel like my trend has gone up in the way I've handled games, and being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. So. When all that, I say all that to say, if Baker's shoelace comes untied and needs to maybe go get a drink of Gatorade at the water station, I'm going to be ready to go. If I need to take a few snaps, and I'm going to handle myself well, and I know I can. So that's my main job. But at the same time, I do know I'm coming into a room where I'm excited to kind of help bring that room together and help bring an offense together and do the best I can to be the best team player I can be.
Hey, Case, with your knowledge of the offense and your experiences in the league, just what are you hoping to provide to Baker Mayfield as you support him?
There's a lot of things, and a lot of those things happen organically. I don't know if I'll sit here and have a list of things. He's a good player, and he could do well just fine without me. And he has. And I'm not saying I'm going to be a coach. Like I'm not a coach. There's some great coaches in that room that are going to coach him up. But I'm excited. I feel like the quarterback room is kind of a committee. It's kind of a you all need to be on the same page, and you all want to be speaking the same language. You all want to have one voice. When you're talking to receivers, you all want to see the field the same way. So if we can all get on the same page as quickly as we can, I think that's going to help this offense. That's going to help this team, and I think that's where we want to be. So I think me trying to see the game through Baker's eyes, see the game through Coach Stefanski's eyes and Coach Van Pelt's. I think those are my goals. That as well as bringing to the table what I've done in the past. So just coming in and preparing and being a pro like I know how to be, and just trying to help the team out whatever way it is. And I think the role, I know a little bit about it now as far as coming in, but I think it'll change and evolve, and then we'll see, what it turns into during the season.
You mentioned that he reached out to you. Can you just talk about, what did that mean to you that he reached out to you right away, and how did that conversation go? What did you maybe tell him, and vice versa?
Yeah, I was really excited, to hear, and he shot me a text really as soon as the news broke. He was, one of the first of many, which was really cool. It meant a lot to me, it really did. I know this league is, it's a evolving door in some ways, in a lot of ways, and he's had it tough. He's gone through, I guess 2 or 3 offensive coordinators by now, and 2 or 3 offenses in as many years. So it's not easy. He's finding that out. I've been in 8 or 9 offenses in 8 or 9 years. So I understand. I know how that goes, and so I'm excited to help him navigate that and give my 2 cents wherever it might be needed. But he reached out. Was excited I was on board, and man, I think we were already kind of had the same goals in mind as far as bringing the team together and getting this ship headed in the right direction.
Hey, Case, what was Kevin Stefanski like the year you were with him in Minnesota, and how did he help you? I mean, that was statistically your best year. How did he contribute to that?
Yeah, Kevin was awesome, man. He was so good. I feel like me and him were so similar that he knew just how I viewed the game and how I needed to prepare, and he let me have my space when I needed the quarterback room to study and go through the game plan and watch film, or he came down and met with me extra and helped me understand why Coach Shermer, our offensive coordinator at the time, was putting in plays, and he would explain it to me in detail when Coach Shermer would tell me the concept, but maybe I needed a few more questions to ask. And okay, how do I look at this? Is this kind of like this play? Is it kind of like this play? Do I read it with this type of footwork? Do I have my eyes over here and then get back over here? And he was very detailed, very organized, and really, really prepared. I mean, I never went into a meeting. I had to go into the meeting prepared because he was prepared, and he was going to expect that from me. He was going to demand that from me, and I was prepared as well as I've ever been prepared for any game that entire season. Every game that year was I think a huge credit to him and the job he did in our quarterback room as a whole, and I'm excited to work with him as a head coach.
Is there something about him personally that stands out to you? We know how basically smart he is and everything, but just wondering about his personality. What do you think he'll be like now that he's in this leadership spot?
I think the same guy, and I respect the heck out of that. I've been around coaches who have been in different roles and different situations and have been different at times. But I think I'm expecting the same guy. Talking to him on the phone, we joked about Game of Thrones again, just like we did in 2017. I know it's kind of hashtag old news, but he's the same guy, and the same person that I'm glad to call a friend and really excited to work with. And that's one of the things that really attracted me to the Browns is looking up and down the coaching staff. I have a past relationship with 80% of them and have a great reputation. The other 20% have a great reputation, and I've wanted to work with guys like that. So being in situations where, it's been tough years and, different things have happened, and it's been a tough work environment. I'm excited to go to work with people that I'm really excited to be around every day.
How difficult is it to sift out the other systems you've learned and just work with the one you're in presently?
Yeah, there's an art to that. Now that I've gone through a few systems, there's things I can take and apply to my Browns 2020 offensive mind and how to view plays and okay, this play is called A. Well, I used to call it B, C, D, or E back in the day. Well, let me combine my reps that I got on B, C, D, and E, my footwork that I use, my good plays, my knowledge of defenses, my knowledge of ways to attack this type of concept into defenses, and then apply it all and call it A, if that makes sense. Because there's certain tweaks, there's certain ways of looking at plays, and there's 2 specific plays last year that that got installed for me with Jay Gruden and his offense that I've run in every system I've run, but the way they read it just totally revolutionized how I viewed the play, and I I was able to own it. I was able to make it mine, and I really felt a lot more comfortable. So that's what's been great as all these offenses that I've been in. Concepts are very similar. The details within them are a little bit different, and I need to own it and make it Browns 2020. This is not, what I've done in the past, what we've done in the past. No, it's what we're doing now, and that's Browns 2020 offense, and I'm excited to be a part of what they're building there.
The fact that you have familiarity with Gary Kubiak, what kinds of things did you learn from Gary, and how will those things carry over to being here?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big part of what Stefanski, obviously spending time with him. Seeing the Vikings offense from last year, I had a lot of familiarity. We played them and then watched them on film a bunch. So I recognized a lot of their schemes and their offense and the footwork and just what Kirk was doing. So that was really my first taste of NFL ball, was Coach Kubiak and him just grinding me on reads and footwork and just where my eyes were. He coached me hard for my first two and a half years in this league, and it really laid a foundation for me for my career. And I think it's the reason I'm in year 9. And I think that I owe a lot to Coach Kubiak and him giving me a shot, first of all, but training me, my first 2.5 years. So I've got a lot of good training, a lot of great training, as far as what it means to be a rhythm and timing passer, and to get the ball out on time, to recognize defenses and know what type of concepts, to know what type of concepts work and what type of defenses.
Yeah, I don't know if this is something that you and Baker talked about or something you plan to talk about, but obviously this is a weird time in the world for everyone, and the off-season program's affected. Are you guys looking at, any possible way to get some work in or do something while the NFL kind of figures this out and everybody else does too?
Yeah, I kind of feel like who was it Uncle Rico and Napoleon Dynamite? Was that the guy that set up the video camera out by his camper and threw the football around in his backyard?
Yeah, that's the one.
Saw that movie? Nobody following it?
Yeah, that's it.
Blank Stairs? Okay. Well, anyway, if y'all haven't seen it, you need to go check out the video clip. But I feel like Uncle Rico at times out in my backyard doing drops and throwing the ball, by myself. Definitely haven't thrown as much this offseason as I normally have. But, I'm getting healthy, which is good. As far as, just the pounding we took last year. And, we're all just trying to figure it out right now. I know you guys are too. I'm actually disappointed I'm not seeing the inside of y'all's houses right now. In a Zoom call, man, it's been a great time to see everybody's random places in their houses. All my friends that I've never been to their houses before, we're all Zoom calling everybody, FaceTiming. So, but yeah, it's a strange time in the world. It's a good time to really look at perspective, I think, and see, just what's most important. There's a lot of things that we think are important in football and sports, and all these things that we think are these problems we think are problems, that we don't get to do these things or don't get to go out and go to the movies, and really it's just inconveniences, because there's a lot more important things going on right now in the health of our loved ones and grandparents, all sorts of people across the country and across the world. I think that's obviously more important. So doing our part to get through this and come back stronger. That's been my motto since I can remember. Any adversity that you face, just come back stronger, learn from it, and move on. So I would say the plan is always constantly changing right now. I know everybody's on their own, trying to do their best to get ready and stay in shape. I'm about to go do a little workout with my wife here in our pool. We're going to do a little pool workout, a little pool aerobics. So should be fun. Should be excited. We're just hanging out here, changing diapers, and enjoying some family time. So, we'll cross the rest of the bridges when we get there.
Hey, Case, how complex is this offense that Kevin Stefanski's going to run? And also, is there any conversation among players that you're aware of about maybe getting the NFL to allow teams to at least send playbooks to players if you can't work out, at least, so you guys know what you need to learn?
Not yet. I mean, I don't see why that shouldn't happen, here pretty soon. And, I imagine there could be some virtual meetings done, and I imagine there will be. I don't know what that's going to look like. I literally wake up every day and it feels like the world changes. It's a different day than it was 2 days ago and than it was 24 hours ago. Houston, they just kind of shut us down for a little bit here. So that's where I'm at right now, down here in Houston, Texas. So, it changes constantly. And, I'd be down, to do some virtual stuff and kind of get my mind going on football. If I can't physically, go throw and catch with guys and do some of that stuff, I'd love to talk some football and get going in that direction.
I haven't seen the whole thing yet, but I think I saw a little bit of a clip yesterday where you mentioned something about Myles Garrett. I think you told a little story about that. Do you have that Myles story for us?
Yeah, I got that Myles story for y'all. So this was preseason last year, and I told the guys, I guess it was a couple of days ago, that it's only happened twice in my career. And I remembered the other time, too. It was actually both against the Browns. The other time was in London. The London fans gave the sack away. But I was dropping back in the pocket. It was third down, first quarter. I think I only played the first quarter of that game last year. So preseason game, but Browns fans were crazy already. So I've only experienced the preseason game in Cleveland, but it was impressive to hear the stands and how loud it was. Because when I snapped the ball and Myles got off the edge around the outside, as he got closer to me, the crowd really got louder, and it just escalated like and I could tell how close he was getting by how loud the crowd was getting. So I was able to kind of step up and just kind of basically dump it off to my guy in the flat and get the ball out of my hands before Myles got there. But that was one of only two times where the fans actually, I wouldn't say helped me out, but maybe helped me out get the ball out quicker. And we weren't able to convert on that third down. So I kind of told that story just talking about Browns fans in general and how I know how passionate and energetic and just how much they care about the Cleveland Browns and the organization. So I'm excited to be on the receiving end of the cheers instead of the other side.
Hey, Case, I think you kind of referred to it a little bit, but you've been with, I think it's 4 teams in 4 years. How excited are you to have a bit of a longer-term deal and be able to maybe plant some roots after kind of being a nomad for a bit?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. This year's obviously different and kind of an interesting situation with everything going on, but we're kind of used to moving right now, and it'll be nice not to get used to moving again. So that was one of the things that we looked at with our agents. Like, hey, where can we put down some roots, and where can we make this thing a little more permanent, and not just see all this hard work that we put into a team. And I've been a captain on the past 4 teams I've been on, just the leadership and the relationships you build, those will never go away. And I have some great relationships with some guys, some coaches and players across the league. But to be able to have it in one place and be a part of something, something that they're building and doing here for more than 1 year, I'm truly excited. My wife's really excited. So, I can't wait.
Chase, when you see someone like a Tom Brady still playing at the level that he's playing at the age that he's at, you're obviously way, way younger than that, and you said you are ready to play and you will be ready to play. What do you still feel like you have left in the tank, and do you still view yourself as a winning NFL quarterback, if it comes to that?
Heck yeah. I think I talked earlier about how I feel I've played at a high level, over the last few years, and there's been parts of my game that I've worked on and I've gotten better at each year. Specifically the drop back game last year, and then different parts of my game each year before that. So I'm constantly working on my craft. I'm constantly working on, improving different areas of my game. I think each year I've done something I haven't done before. So, I've played a 17-18 game season and gone to the NFC Championship, and I've come in as a backup and helped lead teams, in the middle of games and in the middle of seasons as well. So, I've kind of, been the week one starter. I've been, competing for a third string job, in training camp. So, I've been kind of all over the place. So I know a lot of different situations, and nothing really surprises me, and I don't get fazed by a whole lot. So I'm going to keep plugging, keep moving along, and I know that this league needs quarterbacks who can play, and that's what I can do, and I know I can play. So as long as my body lets me, I'm going to do this thing, and I'm going to be ready to play no matter what the situation is, when it is, or where it is. That's who I am, and that's what I do. That's how I'm going to prepare.
Does that make it hard, though, to kind of come in knowing that they're committed to Baker Mayfield and that you're not really necessarily coming in here to win this job? Or do you view it differently than maybe, that I've been interpreting it? Are you trying to come in here and win this job?
No, I've come into situations where there was a competition, and I know this isn't one. This is one I talked with long, before free agency even started with my agents, that, there was, quite a bit of, quarterback musical chairs this year. And, when Tom Brady's a free agent, there's kind of a unspoken thing where, you kind of wait to see where Tom Brady goes, and, we'll go somewhere else, or, type situation. So, we knew what was, how it was going to work with Brady and Rivers and, a lot of other free agents that were available. So, we knew finding a situation where, it was an attractive backup job was going to be kind of our priority, and we did that, with the Browns, and it worked out perfectly that, the Browns, were looking at me, and we had the Browns highlighted as well. So, I know coming in what my role is, and that's nice. It's nice to not have, not have you guys ask questions like you're trying to do now to stir up a little bit of controversy there. What's your name?
I'm really not trying to stir up controversy. I'm really just trying
What's your name, though?
My name is Mary Kay.
Mary Kay, trying to ask questions that maybe not stir up controversy, but just have a little fun there. But I'm excited to know my role, and to know, there's no uncertainty in the quarterback room. I mean, that's a place of solidified. We're one voice. We're not talking different things to different people. I'm not going to go to the receivers and tell them to run this type of route, and Baker's not going to go in and tell them the other route. I'm going to go say, hey, Baker, how do you see this route? Coach Stefanski, Coach Van Pelt, what are we going to say after we leave this quarterback room? Like, when we talked about this play, how do we want it run? How do we see it? And we're going to all have the same voice, the same way we see things, and that's going to help this football team, because we're all going to be on the same page. And I like that. I think having a quarterback room, no matter how many guys are in there, be on the same page is crucial.
And Kate, your answer to that question and clarifying that and how you feel about it and making sure that everyone understands that is precisely why I asked the question. So, you gave a great answer, and that's why I asked it.
Well, thanks, Mary Kay. I appreciate you asking it. I'm glad we could talk about it too, and you'll get to know me, Mary Kay. But I've got a little dry sense of humor, and I'm gonna make sure I have a little fun with you guys. So if y'all are okay with that, is that okay?
Oh, we're up to a lot of fun. No question about it.
Okay, good. Because nobody laughs at my Uncle Rico jokes, so.
No, we like.
We're all on mute.
Yeah, we're on mute.
Okay.
Like,
so y'all were dying. Y'all were rolling on the floor, weren't you?
We were.
Nate already.
I got the
front of it.
Kate, I like the fact that you called out the PR department for not having any Zoom technology for you to be able to see our media. So we got to
what the heck, man? I want to see everybody else's bedhead.